Today, I'd like to talk about weddings. I've been to weddings in both Japan and the US, and each time I notice the differences. And the reason I am talking about this is because I went to a Japanese wedding 2 weeks ago. To me, American weddings feel more casual. Well, I guess American culture is more casual in general. But at weddings in particular, you can see this stark difference quite clearly. And first off, I want to mention I'm talking about Western style weddings in Japan. Not the traditional Shinto type weddings where both bride and groom are wearing kimonos. In Japan, they have those types too, of course, but in recent times, the Western style weddings have become more ubiquitous. So, yeah, I'm talking about Japanese Western style weddings, in which you would think they would be quite similar to Western weddings. So, yeah, sorry, I'm rambling. So, let's start with the similarities first. Both American weddings and Japanese Western style weddings are held in a chapel. The bride wears a white dress, and the groom wears a tuxedo. They both walk down the aisle, the groom first, then followed by the bride and usually her father. And the decorations all seem similar, and there's an organ player, and there's usually a singer there singing along with the organ player. The decorations inside the chapel also are very similar with flowers, soft lighting. And then there's a minister there who says some kind words and quotes the Bible. And the minister asks them to say, I do. The groom gives the wife a ring, lifts up her veil, and kisses her. Then, after the wedding ceremony, they have a reception. And at the reception, there's like a 7 course meal, which is very fancy and delicious. Okay, so now the differences. First off, the place where the event is held, the chapel in Japan, it's not really a chapel. It's sort of a wedding hall that's only used for weddings. There are no real religious services held here besides that. The minister in Japan is someone they usually hire, usually a foreigner, a white person. And this minister doesn't even have to be a real minister or even a Christian at that. He has to just look the part. Also, the ceremony length is usually quite different. In Japan, it's quite short, usually 10 or 15 minutes. And in America, anyway, I think it's around 30 to 45 minutes for the ceremony. And now the biggest difference, I think, is the reception. In American weddings, guests usually choose their seats. There's an open seating chart. And in Japan, each guest is assigned a seat, and there are name cards at every spot. And in Japan, you're kind of expected to just stay at your seat. Whereas in American wedding receptions, you are free to walk around and mingle. I guess the only exception of this is if you're related to the people getting married in Japan. Sometimes you should get up and pour a drink of beer or some other alcohol to the bride or groom's family members. And in Japan, during the wedding reception, you have to sit there, eat, and listen to a lot of speeches, many formal speeches. Whereas in America, they do also have speeches, but not as long, not as many people speaking, and they're usually funnier. And sometimes the speeches in America are embarrassing for the groom or bride, where the friends tell an embarrassing story about something that happened between them. I mentioned the food was quite formal for both, but actually in America, I think they sometimes have buffet style weddings where you can get up and just grab whatever you want. Maybe it depends on the particular wedding. And the biggest difference, in my opinion, is that Japanese weddings do not have any dancing. Whereas in America, you are expected to dance. And to me personally, this is the most fun part of a wedding. So for me, to sit through a Japanese wedding is kind of boring. I also forgot to mention gifts. In the US, people usually give a present. It's typically something from a gift list. Like the bride or groom give you a list of things they want you to buy them. For example, a toaster, blender, or wine glasses, something like that. Although in the US, some people do give money, but it's usually around $50 to $100. In Japan, it's very different. Almost everyone gives money, not presents. And in Japan, the money is put in a special envelope. The envelope is fancy, it has gold and silver strings, and sometimes the couple's name is written on it. And the money amount that you're expected to give is quite different, usually 30,000 yen to 50,000 yen or more, which is like 400 to $600 or more in current US dollar to Japanese yen exchange rate as of 2025. And you're never supposed to give even numbers like 20,000 yen because even numbers can be split. And splitting or dividing seems unlucky for a marriage. And guests in Japan also receive a return gift. It's usually some sort of expensive sweets or rice or towels or some sort of plates or cups. I think in the US, if I recall, sometimes you might get a return gift, but I think it's usually not as fancy or expensive. So, yeah, those are the similarities and differences between Japanese and American weddings. And again, for me personally, I prefer American style because, well, I am American and I kind of grew up with that expectation of a more fun socializing environment. But mainly it's because I like to dance, and Japanese Western style weddings do not have that. So let me know in the comments about your experience with weddings. I want to know what you think about weddings and do you enjoy them? And what style of wedding are you familiar with? Thanks for listening. Catch you next time.